Hey, what's up guys, Tanmay here for Simple Snippets, and this is the 6th video tutorial on C++ programming. In the previous video tutorial, we saw the theoretical aspect of what a control structure is, and in this video tutorial, we are going to be looking into the if, else if and else conditional control structure. And don't worry guys, we'll also be having a program, in fact 2 programs in this tutorial. So in order to understand this type of control structure, the best way is to actually go and program it and have a question or a typical situation. So I have 2 questions in my mind, so I'll just show you and we'll see how to program them. So here are the 2 questions which we need to convert them into a programming solution. That is, we have to actually create a program wherein we have to find out whether a given number is a negative or positive in the first one. And the second question, we have 3 different conditions. So we have to find out whether a given number is negative, positive or 0. So let's just assess the first problem. In the first problem, we first have to take the input from user. Then we have to check if it is less than 0. So here x is the variable and we have to check if x is less than 0. Then we need to print that it is a negative number. And if it is not, so it should go in another condition, that is else it is a positive number. So here there are only 2 possibilities, so we'll be using the if and else control structure. So let's assess the second question. So in the second question also we have to first take the input. So we take the input as x and we store it in a variable named x, and we'll first have to check if x less than 0, that is x a negative number? If this condition would be true, we have to print it is a negative 1. Now we have to check if x is greater than 0, and if it is greater than 0, it has to be a positive number. And the final condition, that is, if this condition and this condition is not satisfied, then it should go in the final condition, which is it is neither negative nor positive. So that number is actually a 0. So now that we have established an algorithm or a process how we are going to approach these problems, let's go ahead and actually code them. Okay, so I have my dev C++ software started. I hope you have your dev C++ or any IDE for programming C++, and I suggest that you actually type this code because that is the best way you can practice programming. So just go ahead and create your source file. Okay, so as I mentioned, we first have to take input from user. So I'll first print a message by using the cout object, then the insertion operator, and I write please enter a number. Don't forget to write the semicolon in the end. Okay, so till now we haven't actually taken input from user. So the way we take input, I'll show you right now. First we have to create that integer variable. So I create int x, and the way we take input is we type cin, which is an object which takes input from the command prompt, and this is the exertion operator, which is exactly opposite to the insertion operator, and we write down the variable. I'll show you how it works. First let us just check if we have actually taken the value, and let's print it out. So I print value of x as a string, and then I concatenate the actual value of x. So this part which I have highlighted, that is the x variable, will actually print the value of x and not the typical character x. So let me just go ahead and save this first. And compile and execute. So here it says processing C++ source file, and it will give me a result with 0 errors and 0 warnings. So I can execute this, and you can see the command prompt. So it says please enter a number. I enter 5. Okay, so I entered the number 5 and I got value of x is 5. So this code is working, right? Now let's move ahead with the next task. Now we have the input and we have taken the value from the user. Now we want to find out whether it is a negative or positive number. So this is how we do it. We write down the control structure starting from if. So this is a keyword. Then two parentheses. And in here lies the condition. Now we have seen the relational operators. So I mentioned that relational operators are usually used with if-else conditions. So here's the condition. If x less than 0, do something, else do something. So these two brackets or any statement written inside these brackets will execute when x is less than 0. And if x is greater than 0, then it will go inside these else condition. So this part won't execute. So let me just copy out this statement and paste it over here. And I'll print positive. And here I'll print negative. So what should happen is, if the number is less than 0, okay, I made a mistake, it should be negative over here and it should be positive over here. So what should happen is, if the number is less than 0, it should print negative, else it should print positive. And let me just comment out this statement because we don't need it. So I'll go ahead and again compile it. I got 0 errors and 0 warnings, so I can run this. Now running the code, it is again asking me a number. So I type in 5 and we got the result as positive. So let me go ahead and execute it again and actually enter a negative number. So I this time enter -1. So there you go. As you can see, depending upon your input, the program executes either this part or this part. That means not every part is getting executed in a sequential fashion. So this is the use of control structures. So let's modify this code a bit to achieve the output of the second question. In the second question, we had 3 different conditions. So I just need to add one condition with else if, and again I have to give that condition in brackets. So it would be x greater than 0 and I have to, in the brackets I have to print positive, or the control of the program will go in the last else only if the first 2 conditions are not satisfied. That is, if x is neither greater than 0 nor less than 0, the else part will execute, and here I'll have to print the number is 0. That's it. So let me just compile it. As you can see, I got 0 errors and 0 warnings, so I can go ahead and run this. Now it's asking me please enter a number. I'll first enter a positive number 5. It's giving me positive. I again run it. I enter a negative number, that is -4, and it's saying it's a negative number. And now let me try and enter the number 0. So there you go with the new output, and it says the number is 0. This is what we printed over here, right? Okay, so we have successfully programmed 2 different questions. Although they are very basic, but then I hope you understood the concept of how to use these if-else control structures. So that's it for this video, guys. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you get notified when we upload the next video. Peace.